Alright, good evening everyone. Diablo Graves here, back for another round of Virtue's Last Reward. When we last left, we were trying another route to maybe find out some more answers, because our first attempt hit a brick wall in terms of needing to know password. So we tried another route, and we hit a point where we had to make a decision on who we were going to pair up with. So I'm going to go ahead and load that up. So we're trying to decide who to go through the door with. I've been thinking about it. Now this one was one that multiple people did not want to deal with, so we probably won't be able to choose this one. So I was looking at the other two, and I was thinking, okay, well, right now, between Clover, Quark, Kay, Dio, and Tenmyoji, there are 5 different people in 5 different pairings or solos that have 6 points. So those are probably going to betray. The only group that doesn't have one is Luna and Phi. But if we do choice A, they're going to be paired up with Dio, who is almost definitely going to betray them. So that's not going to get anywhere. So I think the only way we get anywhere is if we have these two pair up. And Quark will probably, he might betray, I don't know, he's also out of it right now, so he kind of doesn't really have a choice, so I have to see what happens. But basically everyone else is going to have to betray because they're all at 6 points. He might, but then if he's also like out or unconscious or he can't vote because he's, you know, still out of it. If these two choose to betray, they'll go up to 4 points, he'll go back down to 4 points, and then there'll be some options for some other people to make decisions, rather than everyone being stuck at 6 points. So I think this is the only one that results in progress happening.
Whoa. Betting on the dark horse, huh? Feels kind of weird to say that about myself.
I mean, it's really more just, we know you're going to betray, and I mean, I'm just gonna have to.
Anyway, might as well be polite. Thank you.
Well, I don't really trust him, but if Alice really wants to go with option B...
Yes, this works fine. Kay, Tenmyoji, and I will take the green door. It's not great, but it's better than Dio. I'm good.
Well, I'm willing to do option B. Quark should be fine if he's with Luna.
Okay. I'll take good care of him, I promise.
No problems here. I'll take Quark and Luna and we'll do the blue door.
I also approve of option B. I will take the green door, correct?
Alright. Works out for everyone.
10 seconds remain until chromatic doors close.
Coming!
I know!
With seconds to spare, we leapt across the threshold.
2, 1, 0. Chromatic doors closing.
What is this? There's 3 different doors.
Which one do we take?
probably only one of them opens.
Dunno, but it looks like they're all locked anyway.
So this is a dead end? Great.
No, hold on. Yeah.
Well, it's got a
probably pull
lever
this
on it.
thing.
Don't get too attached. It's probably a lever.
You
Yeah,
serious?
pretty good, huh? Am I great or what?
Oh boy.
Huh? Huh?
Hey, Sigma, is this chick simple or something?
Let's just take it easy with her, okay?
Hey! What kind of a gentleman has a secret conversation in front of a lady? I guess it can't be helped, though. You boys just secrete secrets.
Okay.
Oh man, I'm good.
Sigma, please, let me give her a smack.
No. It makes her worse.
Well, I think that's enough genius comedy for now. How about we throw that lever?
You should stay away from it.
Well, you don't really think anything bad's gonna happen if you pull it, do you? Besides, it's not like we can go back.
Fine. I'll do it. Ready? Here we go!
Yep, one of the three opens. Center one opened.
Looks like the others are still locked, though.
Through the center one, then. Forward!
Without waiting for a response, Clover marched to the door. Dio and I shared a glance, shook our heads, and followed. So now we're going to the laboratory. This place.
Well, it said laboratory on the door, didn't it? I figure that means they're dissecting frogs or building mine rays or something.
Laboratory, huh?
Do you think they might research stuff like viruses here? If they do,
Good idea. We might be able to find some of that Excelavir.
if we do, we can cure Quark.
You really think it'll be that easy?
Somebody's a positive thinker.
Shut it. Just saying. This place hasn't exactly been set up for us to succeed so far.
Well, won't know until we look, so let's get started. Yep. We're gonna have to do it anyway, because we have to get out of here. Alright. So we've got a quarter circle room. Starts, here's the door we came in through. Some water tanks. I think some numbers over here. Some kind of pipe system. Something over here. A couple of machines. There's the safe. Some readout monitors. Some more equipment. Another door. Steel plate. Can't open that one. These are mostly empty. Looks like. So I guess there's nothing important in the stuff behind us, and then there's the exit. Here's a scalpel. And a tray. Looks like another lion. We've seen this before, although I think before it had 2 heads. So, I wonder if I just need to start noting where I see these lions eating the sun. I'm gonna write this down. Laboratory. 1 head. Tray with scalpel. with all yarn. Okay, it's a lion. How are you not kitten that? Sorry. It's the sort of take I picked up when I was a kid. Whenever I talk about cats, I kind of, well, you heard. It's pretty weird. Yeah, it is pretty weird. Anyways, enough of that. Seeds? Cylinder full of seeds. They're round and don't have any markings. Okay. Weird. Some kind of waste tank. It's got dye tank? For real? Why'd they put a speaker here? No, it's a drain. Clover's gotten weird in this version. It's a breeze. I can feel it right here. No, I'm saying there's a wind blowing through here. Explain. This is a fume hood, otherwise known as a fume cupboard. It's used when handling especially volatile chemicals. There's a fan or pump in the ceiling that creates constant suction, drawing any poisonous fumes up and away. So that's why it feels like there's a breeze. Precisely. Clover, why? Why are you like this right now? Okay, you look back here. Something you might put specimens in. Maybe there's nothing in them right now. Saline solution, okay. Empty containers. This one has a frog in it. Empty containers, empty containers, empty containers. Beakers. Another seed jar. Roots. Okay. So we're picking up a lot of different jars. Empty capsules. Let's just stick this metal part into something. I don't know. So 2 empty capsules and another seed jar. Paper inside says steps for dissecting the frog. Okay. Binder. 2 pieces of paper. Let's see. Hydroponics research 1 and 2. Okay. Who knows? This has probably got some output for when we get the right answer or something. And that clicking on this just takes us here. There's the safe. It's like a microscope. Yeah, you could put stuff in here. Oh, there are these 4 holes on top of it. Maybe we need to stick something in them. Yeah. More seeds. What did it say? They're round. One half is colored and the other isn't. Some kind of monitor. Yeah, another jar. Binder. Some paper inside it. It says DNA extraction instructions. Okay. This thing looks like some industrial strength lid. Okay, so you can put stuff in here apparently and blend them maybe, I don't know. Scientific experimentation. We are in a lab. Yeah, you probably pulverize just about anything with something this heavy duty. Okay, nothing down there. And finally we've got this pipe system. Large lever embedded in the wall. These pipes, I think they run down to the beakers underneath. They're handles where the pipes meet. If you turn the handle right, the liquid goes right. If you turn the left, the liquid goes left. So maybe if you put it in the middle, half goes to the left and half goes to the right. What is this liquid then? Probably water? What do the numbers mean? Are they supposed to indicate the amount of water that flows out of each pipe? There aren't any units, but it looks like 80-somethings of water come out of the center pipe, and and then each pipe after the split gets 40. So we're supposed to regulate the flow of water with the handles so that each beaker gets the correct amount. Yeah, how do we get the water to come out in the first place, though? I think you probably just pull that lever over there on the right, like this. Alright, so after turning the correct levers, pull down on the water, lever on the right to put water in the beakers. Okay, let's give it a shot. So... put the water in these beakers and all the lights are green. You did it. I did not expect that to be the answer. I was just trying to see what would happen with all of them set to one thing. Okay. Well, let's see. So that was 40. That split that up into... Let's see, that split up into 20, which went this way. 20... Okay, so... Maybe these are 10s? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I think that's what it is. So, 2... So think this is 4, this is 8, this is 4. So 2, 2. So this one got 2, and then 2 went here, 1 went here, so that's why this got 3. And then 1 went here. And then same thing on this side, 2, 2, 1, 1. So this got 3, and this got 1. And then this one split up into 4, which went this way with 1 that made 5. 4 went this way to go 2 here and 2 here, plus the 1 from here made 3. So yeah, it actually turned out that that literally just was the answer. I just didn't realize it. Each seed requires a particular kind of culture. Place each seed in the appropriate beaker. By drawing a seed on top of another seed, you can switch them. Press check after you. Okay, this part I have no idea. Not sure what's going on. Here goes. I don't know the answer to this one yet, so I think I have to look at the documentation first. This has something to do with that. Yeah, the hydroponics research tube binder you found. Okay, so I don't know what this is. Okay, so let me look at these folders. Preparation 1, prepare the 5 different hydroponic fluids, dilute with ratio 1 part fluid, 10 parts water. Each fluid has a distinct color. Preparation 2, prepare the 5 types of plant seeds, 2 long, 3 round. Research has been shown there's a distinct and repeatable relationship between the fluid used and the type of seed. The relationships can be characterized in the following manner. The long seeds fail to germinate in 3 of the fluids. The round seeds in fluid B and D fail to germinate. None of the marked seeds germinated put in C. None marked seeds fail to germinate in fluid A or fluid B, and when striped seeds are put into fluid D and fluid E, only one of them failed to germinate. Okay, so with these two, I have to figure out... I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I gotta figure out which ones match up. I think I'm gonna do the frog thing first though, because that'll probably use up some of the items we have, because we've got a lot of stuff right here right now. Remove the specimen from its preserving ethanol. Dispose the ethanol before pouring it down the drain in the fume cupboard. The ethanol will be filtered and gathered in the liquid waste tank beneath the cupboard. Begin dissection using provided scalpel. Be sure to conduct your dissection inside the fume cupboard. Okay. And then this is some more stuff around roots and seeds, so let's handle the frog first. So let's go over here. Remove specimen from preserving ethanol. Dispose of ethanol by pouring it down the drain in the fume cupboard. The ethanol will be filtered together. Wait, again, dissection using provided scalpel. Okay, so. Hold on a second, Sigma. Are you planning to take the frog out of there? Yeah, so. Probably pour that liquid into the drain first. Might get dangerous if you don't. Okay, so we do have to do it over here. Pour the froggy ethanol into the drain. And set the frog over here. Okay. Now, we use the scalpel. What do we do with the scalpel? I'm gonna cut Lord Hoppington open? Well, I don't really have a choice, do I? But Lord Hoppington... What are you freaking out about? It's dead. It's not the point. It's still sad. Yeah, it is kind of sad. Oh, for the love of... This frog is dead. It's an X... Oh, God. It's a Mighty Python reference. Oh, fine. I'll do it. Hey, well, I guess that saves me the trouble. Huh? Something came out of his stomach. Yeah, I figured we'd probably find something. Lord Hoppington, why? You left us too oh God, Clover, please. Small glue capsule. Half that's blue has some sort of metal protrusion. Okay. And we've got these other ones with the seeds and the roots. Okay. I think maybe we're done with the frog now. So let's look at... Okay. Extract DNA from a plant's roots and seeds. Place plant material in designated blender and activate blender. Once the material has been thoroughly broken down, add in a solution of saline water. The liquid will be filtered and dripped down to a beaker. Once it's done, so put it on the beaker. Then we'll place the bottom beaker using an empty capsule to collect it. Alright. We might need to do this part first, because we may need to use these seeds to procure something before we go messing around with the roots. So I think we need to do that part next. I think. I'm not sure. But, let's open up the memo here. And I think we don't need this part anymore, so... Okay, so we've got... So we've got striped, blank. Okay, we've got, let's see. We've got round striped, round blank, long striped, round half and half, and long blank. Okay, so we got round, round striped, round blank, round half, long striped, and long blank. We need to figure out which ones they will germinate in. So, the long seeds fail to germinate in 3 of the fluids. Well, yeah, I presume there's only one that's going to be the correct answer for each one, so these two will only match up to 2 of the fluids. Round seeds in fluid B and fluid D fail to germinate. So my guess is these are B or D. And these are going to be A, C, or E. None of the marked seeds germinate if put in fluid C. So I'm guessing non-marked are the ones that are blank, and marked are the ones that are striped or the half and half. So none of the marked seeds germinate if put in fluid C. So these won't work, which means this one actually, the round blank one has to be C. Non-marked seeds fail to germinate in fluid A or B, so the blank ones don't work for A or B. So that means this one is B, this one is D, this one is C. And then when the striped seeds were put into fluid D and fluid E, only one of them failed to germinate. And the striped seeds were put into D and E. Only one of them failed. So maybe that one is E? So that one is A. I think that means that's the answer. So let's try that out. Sorry, I got people setting off fireworks if that goat comes through on the audio. So the round striped one is E. The round blank one is C. So that one's actually correct. This one needs to be here. This one needs to be here. Round half is A. Long striped is B. Long blank is D. Got it. Don't say that. Just don't. Quiet, you two. Look at this. Oh, red capsule. Okay, so I think that's what we needed from this one. So we've got the red and blue ones. And then we've still got these. So now I think the next step is to use them with this guy. So place plant material in designated blender and activate blender. Once the material has been thoroughly broken down, add in a solution of saline water. The liquid will be filtered and dripped down into a beaker. Once it is done so, pour the ethanol into the beaker. DNA will collect at the bottom of the beaker and use an empty capsule to collect it. Okay, so place plant material in designated blender and activate blender. So binder we found next to the mixer. I remember seeing something. Yeah, DNA extraction instructions. Yep, so let's open this guy up, or no, we'll probably have to put the roots in. Alright, done. Once the material has been thoroughly broken down, add in a solution of saline water. Okay. Pour the saline solution in. Funnel above the beaker. Filtered liquid comes out of it. Eventually. Okay, looking good. Now we need... will be filtered down to the beaker. Once it's done so, pour ethanol into the beaker. Okay, so we now actually need a blank. We have an empty beaker. So we need ethanol. And I think I know where we can get it. Should be in here. It's a little big, but I have a feeling we should take it. Okay, we can just take the tank. Reuse this ethanol over here. Then... guess this should do it. Pour the ethanol in the beaker. DNA will collect the bottom of the beaker. Use an empty capsule to collect it. So now we just need an empty capsule. Let's do the perfusion of this capsule and the stuff in the beaker. Got it all. Alright, so we got this from metal perfusion. We got the red one from the seed beakers. And we got the green one from the DNA mixer. So now what? I guess we have... There's a fourth one to get somewhere? Beakers, I don't need to mess with them anymore. Okay, so we're done with this. I don't think we need to mess with this anymore. Use it on anything else. Well, we will if we have to, I guess. It's so vague. Why is every relationship always about what the guy needs to, you know? That's not what we were talking about. What the hell are you talking about? Yeah, this will be the last time we meet. Okay, so we can probably use this for something else. We just have to figure out what. What could we use? Frog. I guess he's done. Drain, we don't have to worry about this anymore. Tray, not using this anymore. This tray is empty. Well, we could try putting some seats in it, I guess. Don't you think you should put all of them in? You mean all 5 different types of seeds? Yeah. Interesting. Why not? Alright, done. Wow, that used up a lot of our items. Saline solution. Funnel below the beaker, filter liquid comes out of it eventually. Now we add ethanol. Then, I guess this should do it. We've got one empty capsule left. We got it all. Alright, so now we have 4 capsules. I think that should do it. Yep. Done with the mixer. Now all we've got left is this guy. And we've got microscope apparently has a circle on top to fit the capsules we found. Sigma, come here. What's wrong? I can see something in here. What do you mean something? Just look. It's easier than explaining. What the heck is this? Probably a simplified version of a DNA sequence. A is adenine, G is guanine, cytosine, and thymine. I think we can manipulate it, yeah. Looks like the puzzle has something to do with pairing these bases. DNA is made out of 4 bases, however, you can only bind A and T or G and C. Anything else just won't work. These are complementary base pairings. You know a lot about this stuff. Yeah, I guess so. Anyway, you should be able to solve the puzzle now. Give it a shot. So, A and T, G and C. Reposition each row so that each A is connected to a T and each G is connected to a C. Move each row sideways until the letters match up. So... Okay, so... A, T... most of these are lining up, but now when I try to move this one, it's gonna break those. That's weird. Oh. I guess one of them didn't move 2 rows. Alright, so that got us, what? I'm not hungry. You're turkey. What the hell? Stop screwing off. I don't have time for that. Now get over here and look at this. Huh. There's something on it. This is probably the, yeah, star, moon, star. This is how we get out. Safe password. Perfect. This is just what we need. Yeah. Now we can get in the safe. Except, I got one more. Look, the screen changed. What's going on? Put in the yellow capsule, right? I think it reacted to that. Why? I don't know. I was just thinking what? Well, that thing we just put in had plant DNA in it, right? Maybe that caused this. Anyway, let's go have a look. So yeah, this is just for the file password. So star, star, moon. It's different now. The shapes are in different places. Yeah, I know how it works. Safe, right? Yeah, it's just like the one in the AP room. It's all in the infirmary too. If you punch in the right password, it'll open up. At least it should. Let's do this one first. Get the file. Get open. You did it. Alright. Star, moon, star. This gets us the key to get out. Ooh, what's this? This prince is killing me. Okay, what do we got here? First is map, which we expected. Floor B, yeah. So the one from the lounge, so this will make floor A the top floor, right? I mean, we rode the elevator down to get here. Yeah, I guess so. Alright, let's keep looking. There's a lot of stuff in here. These are moon cards. Each one's got a picture of a moon on it. And these have to be the cards the announcer was talking about. Looks like they gave us 2, just like with the sun cards. I'm a solo, so I'll hang on to one. Cool? Sure, fine. Next up, we've got a notebook. I can't read any of this. Are these even letters? What the heck is this? Isn't it a journal? It's got dates and stuff. Maybe, but I can't read any of this. What language is it? Who knows? Maybe it's Brazilian? They speak Portuguese in Brazil. Anyway, what else have we got here? It's like 2 more things. Ooh, Excelavir. What's it say on it? Yeah, I can read. Oh god. Excelavir? Axe lever? Did Luna say something about, Excelavir? You're right. This is it. This is Excelavir. It's the cure for Radical 6. Whoa, hold on. Let me see that. Later. We need to get out of here first. Yeah. Stuff to go. First we've got to get out of this room. That's easy. You got it, right? Yeah. Found the key in the safe. Let's get out of here. Alright, so we should be able to help Quark in this route at least, so he doesn't... something weird doesn't happen to him. Lock for the door. Right now it says lock. You guys ready? Let's do it. Get it over with. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Hey, hold on a minute. There's something Nah, I guess there's a couple of things I want to double check. Well, one of them's not really significant, I guess.
Huh?
First off, this machine.
Oh yeah, we never used this.
We didn't even end up using this thing, did we? I was just wondering what it was.
Well, I'm not sure how I'm supposed to answer that. But given that this place has a ton of mysteries to it, and it seems like it's important because it's being put out here, we should probably at least take a look at it. There's a name or something. IG Replicator?
Replicator makes it sound like it makes copies of stuff.
This looks like a copy machine.
Yeah, probably copies IG, whatever that is.
Any ideas?
Who knows? Ice cream by the gallon?
Of course. This machine must be here so we can just make all the ice cream we want. Are you nuts? Alright, go easy on her, Sigma.
Oh, good one.
Hey, this isn't the time for stupid jokes. There's a helpless child back there in the infirmary who needs our help.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, what if it could replicate this, what if we end up needing more than one copy of this, you know, like, what if this is the only one and we need to make a replication of it? He was right, of course. Hung my head in shame.
At any rate, as long as we don't know what IG means, we can't do anything with this machine, right?
That's right.
Makes sense. On to the second issue. Sigma, you found a journal and some sort of vial in the safe, right? The vial. Could you show it to me again? I didn't really get a good look at it before. You guys were in there so close I could barely see it. Was it really Excelavir?
Yeah, definitely. As I spoke, I pulled the vial out of my pocket. See, it's written right there on the label. Excelavir.
You really are an idiot. Although I guess in this case the G in IG stands for guy.
What? I don't... The words were barely out of my mouth when he moved. Before I could blink, the vial disappeared from my hand. Hey, what gives?
What are you doing?
Dio slipped the vial quickly into his coat.
Oh, don't worry. I'll keep it safe. I'll even give it back to you later.
No, not later. Give it back now.
I don't think so. If you want it back, you're gonna have to listen to my request.
Request?
Yeah, that's what I said. If you want this back, in the next AB game, you have to choose ally.
Oh, that's your game, huh?
That's horrible! You're using Quark's life as leverage!
Well, I've got some really good reasons to do so. I'll be happy to give it back if you just do what I say.
I didn't realize until they started to hurt that I'd curled my hands into fists. Dio would only give me an opening.
I wouldn't try and take it back by force if I were you. You make any sudden moves and I'll smash it.
He patted his pocket gently.
Oh, and one more thing. Don't tell those other idiots that you found some Excelavir in here. I hear one word about it, and the next thing you hear will be little bits of glass shattering on the floor.
Okay.
That's not fair!
This game isn't about compassion. It's not about being clever. It's about one thing. How well you can manipulate people to your advantage. How unfair you can be. So, what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna betray the fuck out of you.
Ready to promise me you'll pick ally?
Sure, I'll say that.
Sigma!
Oh, I knew you'd say it eventually. I'm glad you understand how this works. But don't think about trying anything funny. Break your promise and... well, you know what happens. See you chumps later. I'm really looking forward to the next round.
The last self-satisfied chuckle, Dio strutted out of the room.
Are you really going to do what he says?
Hell no.
Sigma, You've only got one BP right now. If we choose ally and he chooses betray,
I know. I'll drop to -1, and that means I'll get penalized.
but that means
Look, it's not like I want to, alright? If we don't do as he says, then he'll destroy the medicine. If he does that, then Quark will. Here's the thing. My death aside, he will have 9 BP, he'll walk through the door, and the rest of us will die anyway, because we'll be stuck in here. So it won't actually save Quark to ally.
so you're going to die to save his life? That's... Why would you do that?
In all honesty, I was terrified. My choice was far from a foregone conclusion. Well, we should get back to the upper floor. Everybody else is probably finished already. I bet they're waiting for us. I didn't wait for Clover's response. Yeah, as much as a selfless gesture like that would be, it wouldn't actually save him because, yeah, sure, he wouldn't have the virus, but he'd still be stuck in here, and that would also kill everyone else because Dio would not hesitate to leave the rest of us behind. So, yeah, I understand why Sigma would want to do something like that, but it's kind of a dumb choice because it doesn't actually accomplish the thing he's trying to do.
An ambidex gate has been opened. 45 minutes remain until ambidex game polling closes.
Sorry. I went ahead and cracked it open a bit early.
In one of his hands is a moon key. He twirled it around like a veteran gambler, grinned, and slid it back into his pocket.
You don't mind, right? I figured you and Clover would get up here right away. And besides, I thought it'd be best to get this done soon before you lose your nerve. I don't know about you, but I'm really looking forward to the next round.
He glanced around the warehouse. Alice and Kay were back, as was Phi, and of course Clover. Tenmyoji and the rest of them.
They're in the infirmary.
We carried Quark to one of the beds. Tenmyoji and Luna are looking after him.
I see.
How's he doing?
Well, it's hard to say. He seems to be sleeping soundly, but beyond that, there's really no way to know.
No change then, huh?
Right.
So what was your room, Sigma?
Is
Laboratory.
that so?
Did it look like the kind of place where they'd be researching viruses and DNA and those kinds of things?
Yeah, it did.
Was there any of that Excelavir?
Don't tell those other idiots that you found some Excelavir in here.
I mean, I would just be like, I would be out in the sky in a minute. I'd be like, I don't care. You smash it, that's on you. Don't blackmail me into doing shit.
I hear one word about it, and the next thing you hear will be little bits of glass shattering on the floor.
You're the one who makes the choice to do that, not me. My eyes flicked to Dio for a moment. No, nothing. Of course, he's not gonna say anything. Side B Clover bit her lip.
I see.
So, how'd it go with you? Find anything interesting? Phi only shook her head. With a unison of movement that almost looked choreographed, Alice and Kay shrugged.
Where does that leave us? We still got about 40 minutes left until voting ends.
What are you gonna do?
I'm a little curious about that lab you found. I thought I might go take a peek at it.
I'll show you the way then.
That would be wonderful.
I think I'll go have a look at the room Alice Kay and Tenmyoji found. Never know. Maybe you missed something. Perhaps there's some Excelivir hidden somewhere in there.
Bastard.
Then I shall take you there.
What about you two? Where are you going?
I think I'll start by heading over to the infirmary to see how Quark's doing.
Then I will too.
Glad that's settled.
She nodded Clover and they disappeared through the magenta door. Dio and Kay followed a few steps behind. Okay then, guess we should be going too.
Hold on. Show me that journal first.
Oh yeah.
Dio told me about it. You wouldn't tell me anything about the lab, except that you found a journal with, his words, some sort of bullshit language. You said you had it, so I was hoping I could take a look.
Yeah, one sec. Took the journal out of my pocket and handed it to Phi. She began to flip through the pages, her eyes quickly scanning each one.
This is Latin.
Oh. You mean you can read it?
Yeah, with time and a dictionary.
So in other words, no.
Pardon me for not being able to translate a dead language on the fly.
It's really getting annoying with the fireworks out there. Anyway, sorry about that.
This looks like some kind of research log. It's not going to be some sort of, I took the dog for a walk today. It was nice kind of stuff. I can understand a little of it, mostly conjunctions and things like that. But most of these words I've never even seen before.
Phi started to leaf through the book again as she spoke. Then suddenly she stopped.
Wait. I can read this one. Page 216. This isn't research notes. It looks like a personal entry.
What's it say?
Don't rush me. This is gonna take a minute. Interesting. Alright, I think I got it. It looks like they're talking about Radical 6.
What? Why are they talking about that?
Not sure. Let me read it to you. Keep in mind I'm paraphrasing.
When the body is infected with Radical 6, the processing speed of the brain is reduced. If we assume the brain currently operates on a one-to-one basis with regards to time, Radical 6 reduces this to Radical 1/6. Approximately 1 to 0.408. This means that for each second that passes outside, the patient feels that only 0.408 seconds have passed inside. Therefore, when 1 second has passed inside, approximately 2.45 seconds, or Radical 6 seconds, have passed outside. In other words, when 10 seconds pass in the real world, a patient infected with Radical 6 would feel as if only 4 seconds had passed. This is why the virus has been termed Radical 6. Radical is another term for what is also known as the root operation function inverse taking of power. Less mathematical sense can also be used to refer to something that is extreme or severe. Those infected by Radical 6 eventually develop power for urge to commit suicide. Well, that's weird. The exact cause of this is unclear, and although there is as yet no indirect link between suicidal urges and the reduction in mental processing speed, many believe that they are not unrelated. Those infected with Radical 6 perceive the world to be moving at a fever pitch as if it were a video cassette being fast-forwarded. For instance, although the patient believes that only 10 seconds have passed, in fact 24.5 seconds have passed. Given this increased speed of input, maintaining the ability to observe and reason would become a Herculean task. One theory holds the disparity in time perception causes the brain to be flooded with massive amounts of information. Unable to keep up, it begins to fail. Whatever the cause, the infected invariably attempt to take their own lives, which is arguably the most terrifying aspect of this virus. Research suggests that a targeted antiviral could kill or at least disable Radical 6, but we have been unable to develop one. It seems our best hope now is to harvest antibodies from someone with a natural immunity to the virus. Thus far, however, we have been unable to locate a suitable subject, so I have continued my efforts to discover an alternative means of treatment. Given my current rate of progress, I predict that I will have a workable treatment within a decade or two. It is my fervent hope that humanity will be able to survive that long. Bodies of those dead from suicide are piled up along the roads leading into and out of town. The entire area reeks with the stench of decay, and the sky is filled with the constant buzzing of flies. At times, their swarms are so thick that when one passes, it feels as if a cloud has gone over the sun. Every day I see more crows, and rats are everywhere, feeding on the dead. Ironically, the only healthy-looking creatures are the stray cats, who have grown fat on a plentiful rodent diet. The few humans who survived the outbreak have been locked away by the government in underground shelters. I don't know how many were saved, but I fear only a handful. Their survival is the only hope that remains for the human race. Lord, please, let their future be a bright one. Whoa, that's a lot of information. Now we know what the virus does to you, though. If you get infected, your brain slows down by the root of 1/6. That's, what, about 40%?
That isn't the important part. Those infected by Radical 6 eventually develop a powerful urge to commit suicide.
Yeah, we saw that with Quark.
There are two other things in here that worry me.
So he's not really been acting like... Yeah, all of his... That kind of explains all of the weird actions that he did, which means that he probably also died. Because if he was infected and nobody was around to stop him.
First, the part about how they haven't managed to develop a treatment for it yet. What do you make of that?
What am I supposed to make of it? Maybe they just hadn't found one when this journal was written. I mean, from what we know, there's a drug called Excelavir that cures it.
Exactly. But in the journal it says it might take 20 years to make something like that.
Hold on a second. I'm getting confused. When was this thing even written?
December 29th. No year.
Oh boy. Well, there's no way it was written this year.
Yeah, probably not.
I'm starting to think time shenanigans may be involved here.
Anyway, moving on. The second concern I have is about the underground shelters it mentions. The newspaper article said something about quarantining people too. After we read it, we all thought the same thing. What if this was one of those quarantine facilities?
Oh, yeah.
But this journal seems to suggest the opposite. The few humans who survived the outbreak have been locked away by the government in underground shelters.
You're trying to say that this place might be one of those underground shelters. Which would mean we're all supposed to be uninfected. We would have been thrown in here to keep us safe.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way to say for sure at this point, but it seems possible.
Yeah, but one of us isn't uninfected.
Then maybe the virus got in somehow.
That would be
Just
bad.
think about it for a minute. If this is one of those shelters, a lot of things start to make sense. Maybe we've been here for a long time. Like, maybe they put us to sleep somehow. Made us sleep for years, maybe even decades. While we were sleeping, the pandemic that the newspaper article talked about happened. And whoever had this journal made this entry.
And then once the antiviral treatment was finished, they woke us up.
Right. It's all just speculation, but...
But then where did Zero come from? No, that doesn't make sense. I mean, it seems like a pretty plausible scenario, but we were all captured before the pandemic started, right?
Yeah.
And how would they have put us to sleep for that long? How would they have known to do that? Most importantly, why the hell are we playing the nonary game if the point of this place is to save us? Putting a bunch of people in a game that might kill them is a pretty weird way to protect them from a pandemic. I didn't realize this game would end up being this topical.
Yeah, you're right.
See?
We don't have enough information to make any real conclusions. I think we should see if we can find anything else.
I had barely finished speaking before she took off for the magenta door. Hey, weren't you coming to the infirmary with me?
Changed my mind. You can tell me about Quark later.
And with that, she was gone. Man, I let out a long, tired sigh and started off toward the infirmary. How's he doing?
He seems to be stable, as far as I can tell.
Still sleeping.
I see. Mind if I have a look?
Please, go ahead.
Made my way around the partition to the side of the Quark's bed. The journal and the thing Phi and I had talked about would definitely need to be addressed, but for the moment, the AB game was what I needed to concentrate on. Lives were at stake, mine and Quark's. Those infected by Radical 6 eventually developed a powerful urge to commit suicide. If the journal was telling the truth, then as soon as the anesthetic wore off, Quark would go insane again. What if we weren't able to restrain him a second time? What if he managed to kill himself before we got to him? Or perhaps he'd just get out of the infirmary and go hide somewhere. On the other hand, it wasn't like we could keep anesthetizing, whatever. There was only one way to save Quark, and that was with Xelavir. Unfortunately, Dio had stolen it. If we wanted to get it back, Clover and I would have to vote ally. But if I did, there was an excellent chance I would end up dead. The question was then, what to do? Sacrifice myself to save Quark, keep quiet about the danger he was in to save myself. It was so faint, I almost didn't hear it.
Grandpa. Grandpa.
He shifted a little, then fell silent again. It was enough, though. What on earth had I been thinking? How could I have even considered letting a child die in my place? Suddenly my cheeks felt hot with embarrassment and disgust. That I had considered letting Quark die, even for a minute, was pathetic. There was only one choice. There had only ever been one choice. No way was I going to leave Quark to die. Yeah, but dude... 9BP means he's going to die anyway. Like, you're not actually saving him, that's the problem. Like, I understand his sentiments, but he's not actually achieving anything doing this. My hands tightened into fists as I looked down at him. Any uncertainty I'd felt before was gone. I knew what I had to do. Yeah, I might not even get a choice on this.
Until Ambidex game polling closes. All players, please enter your votes. If no vote is recorded before the deadline has passed, any non-voting parties will automatically ally. Results will be displayed in the warehouse.
Looks like it's almost time. You two should head back.
What about you?
Not going. I'm worried about Quark.
But you're a solo. If you don't vote...
I'll automatically ally. I know. I heard the voice on the intercom just like you.
What are you gonna do if Kay and Alice vote betray?
Nothing, I suppose. Just means I lost that round. I'd just be voting ally anyway. You know who my opponents are, right? Alice only has one BP left. If I pick betray and they chose ally, I'd kill her. I'm not so desperate to escape that I'm gonna kill someone for it. And even if I was, I can't leave Quark behind. You see? Doesn't matter if I go into the AB room or not. My vote's the same either way.
Temyoji's mind was made up. Trying to persuade him to leave would have been pointless. Alright, take care of Quark.
Of course. You worry about yourself.
Let's go.
Okay.
Luna and I headed out of the infirmary, leaving Temyoji and Quark behind. When we got to the warehouse, we found everyone else waiting for us. Well, not quite everyone. One other person was missing. Hey, where's Dio?
Take a look at the doors.
They're all closed. We came in here before. The one on the far right was open.
And that would mean...
He's in a soundproof room, which means he can't hear us. If Sigma were to be a big brain and tell everybody what's going on, went in, I guess.
Exactly.
That bastard. He'd probably been worried I might try and take the Accelavir from him by force, so he'd hidden himself in the AB room. The coward. I had made up my mind to choose Ally no matter what, but part of me had still considered trying to jump Dio if he dropped his guard. Now he'd made sure I wouldn't get the chance to try.
Where's Tenmyoji?
Oh,
Luna explained Tenmyoji's choice.
I see. Well, I guess that means I don't have to worry about him picking Betray.
right. What will you guys be choosing then?
Ally, of course.
Because my BP is 6, I assume.
Yes.
So they're settled. They're gonna, like, not be dicks.
As long as Tenmyoji votes Ally, I can't choose Betray. If I do, K's BP will go up to 9.
But what if he forces you?
You needn't worry. I would never do something so crass.
Really?
Psst! Hey Kay, if you're not gonna do this anyway, why don't you wait outside Dio's box and jumps him when he leaves?
Of course.
Then you don't need to go in there.
Excuse me?
Alice can vote by herself. Then we don't have anything to worry about, right?
Well, I apologize, but I'm afraid I can't agree to that.
Why not?
I just can't. Shall we go, Alice?
Hey, hold on a minute there.
I mean... Kay continued briskly toward the AV room as if he simply hadn't heard Phi. Alice scrambled to follow him, perhaps concerned that he would lock her out. Only seconds later, they disappeared into the third room from the left.
I hope Alice is going to be okay.
Well, there's nothing we can do now. If Kay told the truth, she'll be fine.
5 minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
Time's almost up. Come on, Luna.
Right.
They headed off at a trot toward the second room from the right and were soon out of sight inside it. Alright, Clover, time for us to go.
Oh, okay. Right behind you.
Sighed to myself and headed toward the leftmost AV room.
What are you gonna do?
I don't really have a choice, do I? There's only one thing I can do. I'm gonna choose Ally.
You can't! You'll die!
Well, you never know. Just because Dio told us to ally doesn't necessarily mean he's going to pick Betray.
Do you really think a jerk like that is going to choose Ally if he doesn't have to? No. No way! He's got 6 BP right now. If he picks Betray, then he'll have 9 points!
Well, what about you?
Huh?
You've got 6 BP too, right? If Dio chose Ally and we chose Betray, then you'd have 9 BP.
What?
Yeah, but you know what?
No, that's not... I didn't even realize that until you brought it up.
You know what? I'd rather you escape than him, so I'm gonna pick Betray anyway.
I'm just trying to tell you that Dio is going to pick Betray. That's who he is.
And I'm trying to tell you that I've made up my mind. That's who I am. Yeah, well, I'm controlling you, buddy, so if you give me a choice, I'm not gonna take it. It's the only chance we have to get that medicine back.
That's why Dio called you an IG. What makes you think he's going to give us the Accelavir, even if you do what he says?
Yeah, he's There's no way he's gonna do that. He's gonna be like, oh no, it turns out I need this for myself, because I might get infected because I was around Quark and I'm a jerk ass. Maybe he won't, but I can guarantee that he'll destroy it if he picks Trey. That's who he is. Yeah, well that's on him. Not holding me responsible for his actions.
Fine. If you aren't gonna listen to me, then I guess I don't have a choice. I'll be pushing that button.
Huh? Before I realized what was going on, Clover ducked past me and ran toward the voting machine. No, stop. I snatched her by the arm and hauled backward with all my strength.
Ow!
Sorry. Guess that was a little too hard, huh?
Hey! What do you think you're doing? You can't just throw a girl around like that.
Well, you're the one who tried to trick me.
But you're gonna die! Dio's going to kill you! You can't do this! I don't want you to die.
Ten seconds remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
Thanks. It means a lot to hear you say that, Clover. I gave her my best reassuring nod and turned to face the polling machine.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, no, fuck this guy.
Round 2 of the Ambidex game has been completed.
Look, as soon as I get out of here, if I had a choice, I would run straight for that guy. If he smashes it, he smashes it. I'm gonna beat the shit out of him.
Results will be displayed in the warehouse. Thank you for your participation. Ambidex gates now opening.
Clover and I walked slowly out of the AB room. Dio glanced over at us as he exited his own room. I looked away before he could make eye contact.
Sigma, why? After all that stuff you said. I mean, it's not like I'm criticizing you.
Sorry, but Sigma doesn't actually have control over his actions.
I think you made the right decision. You don't
Sorry.
need to apologize. I think I would have chosen betray if I was in your position. We'll find another way, all right? We just have to keep an eye on Dio. As soon as he gives us an opening, we take it. And I'm sure Alice will help us too.
Did you tell her?
It's okay. We can trust Alice. There's no way she told him. Anyway, let's go check the results.
Yeah. Oh, that's not surprising. Also not surprising. Well, we couldn't really do anything about Kay, and, but you know what? I don't care. I'm okay with this.
Results from round 2 of the Ambidex game will now be displayed. Please check your bracelet to see your updated bracelet points.
Hey, what the hell is this?
Sorry, decided to choose betray.
Oh, so you don't care what happens to Quark?
What kind of a cold-hearted bastard are you?
Jeez.
Please, just give it back.
Hey, Sigma, what are you talking about?
We found the Accelavir in the laboratory.
And Dio stole it. What? You mean he has it? Right now?
Nah, I don't have it.
What?
Well, I won't have it in about 2 seconds.
The moment the words left his mouth, I knew what he planned to do. No, don't. I leapt towards him as I spoke, but it was already too late. Dio snatched the vial out of his pocket, brought it up, and threw it to the ground.
No!
Alright, so now we beat the shit out of this guy. That's what I say we do. Of course, granted, it doesn't really matter now, because Kay might just leave.
What are you doing?
A promise is a promise. If you'd chosen Ally, this never would have happened. You want to blame someone? Blame yourselves.
You know what? Screw you, buddy. I don't believe you would. I don't believe for a second that you would have actually held up your end of the deal anyway. I'd had enough. Something snapped in my brain. Bastard. I let out a guttural roar and leapt forward, only to be stopped short by a firm hand on my arm. It was Fi.
Hold it,
Why are you stopping me?
because this isn't the time for that.
What do you mean? This isn't the time for...
Look at the number 9 door.
Yeah, Kay's gonna be like, alright, later guys, I'm out. Kay was indeed standing in front of the door. What is he?
No!
Yeah, whatever.
What?
Suddenly we were all running toward Kay at the number 9 door. Kay, what the hell do you think you're doing?
What am I doing?
He's leaving.
Well, that should be obvious. But if you insist, I am attempting to leave.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I assure you, I would do no such thing. I am perfectly serious. After a rational assessment of the facts, I have concluded that this is the wisest course of action. What is currently our highest priority? The answer is, of course, to save Quark. He must be taken to a hospital as soon as possible. For that to happen, one of us must escape and call for help. Currently, the only one of us capable of doing so is myself. That is why I intend to escape.
And leave us all behind.
Unavoidable, but as I said, I do intend to call for help.
Couldn't you have at least waited until the next round? Then you could have raised Quark's BP to 9 and taken him with you.
And what would happen if Dio was Quark's opponent in the next round?
That's a good point.
I have no illusions about what Dio would do.
Yeah,
This is the most logical choice.
I mean, as much as I hate to let him do it, he kind of has a point.
The number 9 door has been opened. It will remain open for 9 seconds.
Wait! Where's Alice?
Ah, yes. Alice is in the AB room. She has collapsed, but you needn't be concerned. She is only sleeping.
Oh no. What did you do to Alice?
You will need to ask her yourself. I must take my leave.
Hey! God damn it! Wait!
Dio charged at Kay, but the larger man easily sidestepped him and tumbled nimbly through the door just before it closed.
The number 9 door has closed. This ends the nonary game. Thank you for your participation. As the game is over, all doors other than the number 9 door have been unlocked. Escape is not possible. Please enjoy your stay.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the fact is, sure, maybe that doesn't work out so great for us, but presumably, if there's any chance of, I mean, it's some kind of underground building, probably, but if anybody could get it open from the outside, and Kay is kind of weird and sometimes untrustworthy and sometimes trustworthy, but I think we can count on him to at least try to get help. Maybe he wouldn't be able to. Who knows what's actually happening outside at this point. So, I mean, he may be screwed. But yeah, so that was not the best way things could have ended, but what are you gonna do? My guess is, that one actually goes a bit longer, interestingly. The heck with it. We'll see what happens if you pick Ally. I mean, I feel like that just ends with Dio and Kay escaping and me dying, but, whatever, at least this will be quick to go through. For several long moments we just stared at one another. Words weren't necessary. Everything she would have tried to tell me I could already see in her eyes. Let's go. I turned and headed toward the results screen.
Sigma!
I heard her behind me, her voice barely louder than a whisper. The choice was already made. I stood up straight and kept walking. Yeah, not surprising. So now those two leave, and the only other thing happens is that I'm dead.
Results from round 2 of the Ambidex game will now be displayed. Please check your bracelet to see your updated bracelet points.
-1.
What?
Sigma's BP is...
Negative!
Suddenly all eyes were on me. I felt their weight, but stood my ground. It was the result I'd expected. Took a deep breath and closed my eyes. I didn't have to wait long. There was a sharp, quick pain in my wrist, barely even noticeable. I couldn't feel anything flowing into my veins, but I knew it was there. First would be the anesthetic Soparil. I blinked and my vision started to blur. When I tried to think, it felt like my mind had been stuffed with cotton. My legs began to wobble, then gave out entirely as I crumpled to the floor.
Sigma! Sigma! Hang on! Hey! Sigma! Get up!
Sigma!
Oh no! Oh no, oh no, oh no!
Trying to open my eyelids was like trying to lift sheets of lead. My eyes had lost the ability to focus, but I could make out a blur that had to be Dio in front of the number 9 door. Damn it! You'll keep your promise, goddammit. I groaned, and with a Herculean effort I lifted my head and then my sluggish body off the floor. Every step was a battle, and whenever I shifted my weight, my muscles threatened to give out again. But somehow I forced myself ahead, a single thought burning in my mind. I would reach Dio. Then at last, a smudge of color faded into a recognizable person. I threw out my hand in front of him. Give it back. Give me the medicine.
Give it back? Don't act like it's yours. Aren't we supposed to share everything we find here?
I I don't care. Just hand me the medicine.
What are you talking about?
We found the Excelavir in the laboratory.
And Dio stole it.
What?
You mean he has it? Right now?
Yeah. So?
I kept my promise. Now I wasn't a fool. I knew the kind of person Dio was. There was a chance he wouldn't give us back the Excelavir. If he didn't, then I'd die with my hands around his throat. I gathered as much of my mind as I could and got ready to attack.
Fine.
Not quite what I'd been expecting.
Here.
With a shrug, he pulled the vial out of his pocket and tossed it toward me. I caught it and pulled the tiny glass bottle in my chest, worried I might drop it. The label said unmistakably Excelavir. It was the real thing. Clover, take it. I held it out toward her.
Right. Of course.
She quickly tucked it into her pocket. Good. Now at least Quark will be alright. With that, the last of my strength left me and I dropped to my knees.
Sigma! Are you okay? Sigma! Sigma!
I guess this is it.
First, is this over real? Let's put you to sleep. 9 minutes later, the tubocurarine is injected, numbing your respiratory muscles. I guess you could say it'll really take your breath away.
9 minutes. Once the Soprol was injected, I had 9 minutes until the muscle relaxant followed it. About 4 minutes had already passed, which left me with 5, give or take a little. 5 minutes, I would be dead. What could I do in 5 minutes? How long could I save myself? Or how could I save myself? I gave a raspy, quiet laugh. Even with death staring me in the face, I seemed to be determined to struggle right up until the very end. Okay, Sigma. You can do this. Clinging desperately to what little consciousness I had left, I racked my brain for any possible solutions. You cut your arm off? Had to be something. Every problem, no matter how difficult, has a solution. There's always another option. Hopelessness is a state of mind. I just had to think. Think. If there was a way out, I'd find it. I wasn't ready to give up on life yet. There had to be an answer. I mean, there was one guy with a fake left arm in the last game. What? Oh. Huh. Lock number 3. Huh. So there's something else I could do there, but hold on a second. Is there a lock on this one? No. It doesn't say lock, it just says solve the mystery. 5 minutes of life. Okay, so that one definitely ended with game over because Quark was gone and Kay got out and the door closed. This presumably implies that, like, the door hasn't been opened yet, also, though. But I guess there's something else that can be done? Weird. Okay, well... It is getting kind of late, so I think I may need to call it for the evening. But, is there any way to zoom back out? Oh, there we go. Wow, I have a lot of other options. So, yeah, we're only just starting to scratch the surface on this, and some of these are almost as long as the first one that I went on that went for a fairly long time already. So I have some options. I could go back and let's see. There was this second round where we allied with Luna again. It looks like picking the I'm guessing a lot of these are like bad endings, is my guess. Where these ones that have extra stuff is things that I potentially need to explore. So what I might do is, like, so for example, this is maybe metagaming a little bit, but I wonder if maybe the rest of these are not going to be super helpful because of how short their paths are. That maybe it would be better to jump back and try one of these instead. I might do that. I might jump back and let's see, this was into the CDs, this was round, so I might pick a different door with the chromatic doors at this step, because that was the one where we went with Luna the second time, yeah. Because like it looks like picking Betray at this point doesn't actually do anything helpful. Like this looks like this is pretty quick, because it looks like, yeah, like you pick Betray and then you get a game over. So it looks like, I'm wondering if most of these are going to be game overs. And it might be fun to look at them at some point or another, but I don't know how helpful they'd actually be. So, yeah, I don't know. I'll think about it. We'll figure something out. But I think I am going to call it for tonight. I hope y'all have enjoyed watching. This has certainly been a weird and interesting game. I did not expect to actually get something useful out of that ending, so yeah, that was kind of cool. But we'll have to keep at it, and we'll go for it next time. So, call it here. Go back to the main menu. And yeah, y'all have a good evening, and we'll see you next time.